What's up, everybody? It's Beacock, and today I would like to talk about Jayce. And for those of you who know, Jayce has been out for about a week now. Kind of sold as their 100th champion. Some people not too happy about him. Some people a little upset because they wanted something more special. But in my opinion, Jayce is an awesome 100th champion. I myself love combo champions such as Jax, such as Brand, people like that. And Jayce is definitely a high mobility, high combo champion, has so many different spells that he can combo into each other in different ways. It's just so fun to play him, and this is going to be our first look on a champion in a long time. I think I'm going to bring the series back now, considering it has been a little while. And I hope you guys enjoy this. To start out, if you guys have never seen me do one of these before, I will go ahead and start talking about his moves, and then from there I'll rate the champion and tell you guys if it's worth it. So if you guys want to skip his move set and all that, go ahead. I'll put a button on the screen right now that you guys can click, and I'll have you guys rejoin us once I'm done talking about the moves. So to start, the whole catch with Jayce is that his passive actually switches, I want to say stances, switches him from melee to ranged, and as you switch you actually gain movement speed, and that lets you do a lot of different things. You can actually, he has a move where you can push him away, you can switch back into your ranged after that, and you can actually shoot them after you push them away, and that's where his combo ability comes in. It's actually really fun. So in all, Jayce actually has 8 abilities, like champions such as Nidalee and anyone else. I wouldn't say Udyr, but pretty much just Nidalee. Actually, now that I think about it. And once he switches forms from hammer to his ranged ability, it actually gives him his new movesets. His Q on his hammer actually is a gap close and AoE damage as well as slow in a small area. Very strong slow at max level, I believe it hits 50%. His W in his hammer ability is like a big static AoE field, not the best move. It does have a 1-to-1 ratio, and it doesn't scale that well into the later game. However, it is some extra damage, which is always good on any champion. His E actually is a single target nuke and knockback that stuns them. It does a percentage of their health as well, and you're actually going to max this first, believe it or not. At max level, it does do 20% of their maximum health, and that is a lot to be doing every, like, I think it's 8 or 7 seconds that it's up. Plus that, it does have a base on it, and it does have scales, I think 1.0, I think, with attack damage, something like that. It scales pretty well altogether and does a lot of damage. One of his main damage dealers, and you're actually, like I said, going to max that first. Now if you switch over to his crossbow, or whatever you want to call it, his ranged stance, he gains the ability to shoot a single target and nuke his Q. It is relatively slow, and it does do AoE damage in a small area around it. His W does buff his attack speed for 3 attacks to max attack speed. And his E actually is a big, I want to call it a reverse Karthus wall, that actually speeds up him and fellow teammates around the area that pass through it, and it does continuously speed you up the more you pass through it. I believe it does degenerate over time though. But past that in conjunction with his ult passive, his just normal passive, where when he does switch from stance to stance, he gains that movement speed as well. He does just gain a lot of ground on opponents there. But yeah, that's basically his moveset. This is where you guys will join us if you're gonna skip his moveset and everything. What is there to say good about Jayce? Laning phase, strong laning phase, very strong. If you guys have been watching the video up to this point, you'll see that we're still in top lane right now. It's he's very good top laner, he's very good solo. His level 1 is ridiculous considering he starts basically with 4 abilities. He gets a passive on his hammer when he switches stances. I didn't actually mention that, but it does give him an attack bonus on it, as well as the passive when he switches back to crossbow. Has a debuff on it, plus the Q, plus the Q at level 1. It's 4 abilities, and nobody else is going to be able to match you level 1, pretty much. Very hard to match Jayce level 1. Besides that, maxing E in the lane, any high health or low health champion is going to get demolished by his E in lane. There are some people that can go ahead and range him out. If they do get a lead on you, it's pretty fucked, to be honest. Like, as Jayce, once you lose your lead, it's really hard to get back. But once you gain the lead, it's really hard for your opponent to get back. So he is a very good snowballing champion. However, the only problem I have with him is he is not the easiest champion to build, because you can build him straight range and straight damage, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of going in there. He is pretty naturally tanky. He does get some extra magic resistant armor when he switches to hammer, but besides that, if you go straight damage and you jump into a team fight, you're going to be pretty much the main focus. So going straight damage in lane might be fine 1v1, but once you become a main target and you have to do as much damage as you can by hopping in there, it's going to be pretty impossible to get any amount of damage off, and you're just going to be useless to your team at that point. So at some point you're going to have to build tanky. You'll see in this game right here, I actually built straight Infinity Edge. And if we would have made it to later team fights, and if any lane was doing well, I might have been fucked, to be honest, because jumping in there and trying to do any amount of damage would probably be very difficult. I have no damage mitigation. I'm all kiting, all like movement speed and damage. Besides that, if they decide to focus me, I'd be dead. Unless my 80 carry's doing well and I get focused, then bon voyage. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be fucked. But besides that, of course he is 6,300. We've been seeing that trend for a long time. If you just started picking up League, you'll know that. You'll probably think every champion's 6,300. The last 3,150 was Karma, I believe. Maybe she's even 4,800. But one of the 6,300s that on release I believe is worth it, to be honest. Very good champion. Very original. One of the most original champions they've had in a long time. And I applaud Riot for putting him out. So if you guys like combo champions like I do, if you like something new and fresh, something that you haven't tried before, something that isn't really seen in League, Jayce is that person. And to say he's OP or underpowered isn't really... I'm not really able to say that, because he is pretty good if you know how to play him, and he is pretty bad if you don't. The only problem I have with him is the jumping in the team fight and dying really fast, but you can always mitigate that by building tanky. But I'll leave it up to you guys. I'd say he is a buy if you like tanky top lanes or if you like something new. So thank you guys for tuning into the League Cast. I hope you enjoyed one of our very few first looks we've had in a long time. And keep tuning in. I'll have some more for you guys, and hopefully a new cast coming up soon. Once again, this is Beacock for the League Cast, and I'm tuning out. Peace.